If you can believe it, it is already week 9. Week 9er of the college football season and the confidence picks. I'm Steve Deace with Aaron McIntyre. Week 9, Aaron, if you can believe it.
Yeah.
Week 9.
Crazy. Only got 4 more of these left. Plus the bowls and the conference championship games. But it's always the same every year. You blink and then week 9, it's November.
Yep. And here we are. Let's get an update how the contest is going so far this season.
We had a sea change last week, Steve. And I also noticed last week, and I don't know if I've done this in weeks past, it kind of doesn't matter because it wouldn't have given either of us a benefit. I forgot when you lose your bonus bet, you get subtracted 7 points. So I have redone the tabulations. Again, if I was not, it didn't make a difference either way, but I did retabulate after last week. And here's how you did last week. You got Michigan over Michigan State, Nebraska over Northwestern, Rutgers over Indiana, which is good. Those are your 3 most confident picks. And it was good because you missed all the rest of your picks as well, including your bonus. I also got my top 3 picks. Also got Rutgers over Indiana. Did not get Illinois over Wisconsin or Penn State over Ohio State. I did correctly get Minnesota +5 versus Iowa. So here's the new total. You are behind, Steve, and I've taken the lead 402 to 389 heading into the home stretch.
All right. Well, that margin actually isn't as ominous now if we're losing points for the bonus loss as well.
Which I was doing earlier this year. Maybe I forgot. I just went to, I don't know. The replay official pinged me, went into a long
7
replay.
weeks after the fact.
And I think I had been doing that before.
We didn't know this on the set, but the eye in the sky up on the top, they knew that we were supposed to be deducting those points.
It doesn't make a difference because it didn't give, if I was tabulating it wrong, it didn't give either of us necessarily a leg up on the other.
All right. Well, here are my picks for week 9. We will start. My most confident pick this week is Penn State over Indiana because, man, Indiana's not good. That's Steve. What's your analysis? Indiana's just, they're not good. All right. My 4-point game this week is Maryland over Northwestern, but man, there is a part of me. Dude, I just don't trust, like I trust Maryland more against the best teams to play hard than win these games confidently. You know what I'm saying? I've got Ohio State just 3 points over Wisconsin. Ohio State has owned this series really since the 80s when Wisconsin gave Ohio State fits regularly, but that was decades ago. Ohio State has owned the Badgers. They have a huge talent advantage, but situationally, Wisconsin coming back home after a big comeback win. You catch Ohio State after the Penn State game on a bit of a letdown. Situationally, it favors the Badgers, and so my hedge is to only make it my 3-point game. You can see I don't really trust Minnesota either. Okay. I just got a good look at Michigan State. Okay. And they had 2 more players go in the transfer portal today. And I've never said this before. I don't think Michigan State has a single player that would start for Michigan. I've never said that before. And I don't even know how many of them would be on our second team. That being said, I also don't think Minnesota has a single player that would start for Michigan either. So I just, it's a revenge spot. Remember, Minnesota humiliated Sparty last year.
Yep.
So I just, when you got anemic quarterback play, man, it's just hard to be confident. And then my 1-point game, same thing here, is Nebraska over Purdue, which goes to my bonus. I'm going to take Nebraska and Purdue under 41.
That's a good play.
Nebraska is down now 3 starting offense. Basically, this is almost an entirely different starting lineup for Nebraska's offense than they started the year with. Different quarterback, which they made that choice. Tailbacks hurt, receivers hurt, offensive linemen hurt. Weather looks like it's going to be a factor here in the Midwest this week. Purdue, I don't think their offense is that great. I think the best unit on the field is the Nebraska defense. I think that's probably something like a 21-17 kind of a game. So I'm going to take Purdue, Nebraska under 41 as my bonus pick.
It's a good play, and 41 points seems like a low total, and it is for most teams unless you're Iowa. But that's kind of a contrarian play there a little bit as well. For me, I have also got Penn State over Indiana at the 5 spot, Maryland over Northwestern at the 4. I've got Purdue over Nebraska at the 3 spot because of those Nebraska injuries. This seems like a situation where Nebraska should be all over this. They still probably have the talent advantage, but Purdue can play some defense. So if Nebraska can't get anything going on offense, which I think they'll have a hard time against Purdue. And, Purdue's not a world beater on defense, but they have shown that they can be competent at the very least. I like Purdue. And also, I'm just trying to pad my lead, too. Number 2, Michigan State over Minnesota. I already talked about this yesterday. You talked about this a little bit as well. Hate the spot for Minnesota. Huge win, controversial win. Got the pig for the first time since 2014. First win in Iowa City since 1999, I believe. And so I hate the spot for Minnesota and Michigan State. I don't know what the motivation for them is other than revenge and just saying, hey, we still can play at the Division I level too. We can still play
Division I football.
Big Ten football. I just think Minnesota could sleepwalk through the first half of this game and start giving Michigan State.
We don't know how Minnesota responds to beating Iowa because it doesn't really happen.
PJ Fleck, yeah. So, and then number 1, I hate the spot for Ohio State as well, despite their dominance in this series. Wisconsin is a pretty good team on defense. Ohio State is as well. Wisconsin, question marks on offense, although you saw some flashes last week. Night game in Madison in almost November, late October. Goodness gracious, that place is going to be hopping.
Yep.
Ohio State in the letdown spot. Wisconsin with a surge of confidence. I hate the spot for Ohio State, so I still think they win, but they're in my 1 spot. And I hate laying these huge numbers.
Look, I love our bonus picks. I'm like going under a 41. You're laying 32.
I hate these, but Penn State, every team that they've played that is not on their level, they just boat race.
And Franklin knows the number.
And he knows the number.
Yep.
So I'm going minus 32 over Indiana as my bonus pick.
I don't hate that pick either, actually.
I hate laying
I might need to look at the weather
that,
in State College and then think about making that one of my plays this week. So, all right, good stuff. And we'll find out next week how we did. And, well, who knows? Well, maybe we'll find out with, maybe Aaron will have another rule alteration for us at this time next week.
To be fair, that's how I did set it up at the beginning of the season.
I know you're on edge right now.
It's the eye in the sky, the replay official up there. He's the one who made the final call.
I know you're on tilt right now.
Subsection 12.2.6
yes, see?
of the Bigger 10 Confidence Picks Code of Ethics. Got to go back.
Is this a wave?
Yes.
Is this a wave?
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
Well, I got to censor that out.
All right. And some gallows humor to close us out. We'll see you next week right here on the channel.